Today I'm going to talk about the Trapper model from Quickhatch Knives. If you're interested in this knife, stay tuned. What's up everybody, PA Outdoors here. As I said, we're going to be looking at the Quickhatch Trapper. This is going to be just a first impressions video. Just kind of taking it out, looking at it, going over some of the specs. Just got this in the mail within the last week. So I want to talk about it a little bit. First, I want to talk to you about another knife. If you followed my channel, watch a bunch of my videos, you'll see one of my favorite knives is the Condor Bush Lore. It seems like I always take it in the woods with me. I always have a bush lore with me. There's some other knives I like, but just in the past couple of years, this has just always been, a knife that's come with me. I've got two. I've got a bush lore just right from the factory with the walnut scales, and I have this one, which comes from a blade, Condor, a bush lore blank that I put zebra wood scales on. I kind of like the blank. The blank's actually a little thinner than the standard knife you'd buy. Not much, but a little bit. But I like it because it doesn't have the coating on it. It's a pretty, it's got a nice kind of shine to it. And then, like I said, I just put the scales on it myself. That's zebra wood. But what I like about the knife is, there's lots of things to like about the knife. I like the shape of the blade, the standard kind of wood lore shape and point. I like the scandied grind. I like the flat back, the 90-degree spine, and I like the ergos on the handle. Like kind of the shape as you hold it. It just feels real good in the hands. And this one, I've actually made the scales a little bit thinner than the standard bush lore, and it's maybe a little on the small side, but it turned out real well, and I'm real happy with how it did turn out. I like having a palm swell, as you can see right there, kind of tapers at the ends, nice palm swell in the middle. So there's just lots of things I like about the blade. But it wasn't ideal for me. Ideally, it would have a 5-inch blade, about an inch longer, and maybe a little more ergos on the handle. Not much, like I said. I really like how it feels in the hand, but just maybe a little bit more ergodynamic. So I've always been kind of on the lookout for a knife that kind of fit that bill. And almost 2 years ago now, I ran across Brenton Good and Quickhatch Knives, and I've seen his knives. He posts them all the time on some of the Facebook groups, and I've just loved the looks of them. I've been to his website, looked at the different models, and I came across the Trapper. And I said, man, I really like this knife. So I started looking into it. I started looking at reviews. I started talking to people that owned them. Bill from PAoutdoors, he has a few. He just talks very highly of them. Recently, Prepared Mind 101 did a review of the Huntsman model, and I believe Manus Outdoors also did one on a Quickhatch knife. I'm not sure if that was the Huntsman or if it was a different model, but so a year and a half of just looking into it, trying to decide whether it was right for me or not, I decided to pull the trigger, and I ordered one. And it's finally come in. That's the knife right there. This is the Quickhatch Trapper. I've played around with it a little bit, not much. And so if you look at the two knives, it is exactly what I was looking for. Very similar blade profile, the same kind of point. It's a high Scandi or a saber grind, which I like. I like a lot. I have there's a saber grind on the Gerber strong arm, and I like the blade geometry of that knife as well. And this is a similar blade geometry to that. Again, the ergos, you get the, the kind of palm swell at the bottom. The Coke bottle shape to it. It just feels great in the hands. It's a little bit thicker. This is 3/16. The standard bush lore, I believe, is an 1/8 inch thick. So it's a little heavier duty blade. Like I said, an inch longer, but it really fits the bill in what I've been looking for in a blade. And really the only questions I had is what kind of handle material, because he offers these things in a lot of different handle materials, and I'll get back to that in a moment. So again, high Scandi, flat grind, or a saber grind if you will. 5-inch blade, 5-inch handle, big lanyard hole. I opted for just the brass pins and the micarta handles. This is 01 tool steel, so it's going to hold an edge really well. It's going to take an edge fairly quickly. A little more rust resistant than, say, like 1095 or 1075. And with the thickness, it's going to be a little more heavy duty, so, I've batoned with bush lores before, and I'm going to use this knife. This isn't going to be some trailer queen or trophy case knife. This is going to get used, and that's why I bought it. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to get out and use it much. A little bit of feather sticking and so forth, and I can run that footage. Now, Quickhatch knives, they make lots of different models, and he's coming out with new models. Every couple months he comes out with a new design that he ends up, making into a knife that he offers. And as of right now, these are all handmade by Brent. There's no, production line or anything like that. So you're getting a custom knife, one-off. So that every knife is going to be slightly different. Although he's really perfected his skill, he's really perfected the handle shape. The handles are, all his models are obviously different sizes, but the quality, the craftsmanship, it's all the same. They're just outstanding knives. Without getting having any use of the knife, I want to talk a little bit about some of the right off the top pros and cons. The pros are, again, you're getting a custom-made knife made by hand by one person. The quality is there. He backs every knife. He offers like a spa treatment, like you hear with LT Wright knives and so forth. And price-wise, they're very comparable if you're going to go with like a Bark River or a LT Wright. The price is comparable. You're getting a handmade knife with the options are just unbelievable. The handle options, from multiple colors of micarta to hardwoods. He does some great stuff with some resins, like a pine cone resin, all kinds of different colors, turquoise, different materials, combinations of wood and micarta and a resin material. You know, brass pins, aluminum pins, mosaic pins, with and without different styles and colors of liners. Just the options are endless. I will put a link in the description box to his website so you can check that out. So yeah, just the pros are just the quality, the material being 01. It's going to last. You know, this knife's going to last a lifetime. Now there are a few cons. You know, I'm used to spending $50, $60, $70 max on a blade. You know, this is closer to $200. And, you know, it took a long time to save the money, and it took a long time for me to finally make the decision that I'm going to spend that much money on a knife, because that wasn't an easy pill to swallow. That's why I did all kinds of research to make sure that this was the knife for me for that amount of money that I was going to spend. Another con, and this goes along with being a one-man operation, is it's a 4-month lead time. I ordered the knife in February, and it showed up here at the beginning of July. So, you know, you're going to wait for the knife. Now, he has just recently posted that he is working on doing a mid-tech knife. What a mid-tech knife is some of the knife is made you know, on an assembly line setup, and other parts of the knives are going to be, you know, made by hand. So I don't know what is going to be what, but my guess is he's going to have a company cut the blade blanks, and then he will probably do the finish grinding and the handles. That would be my guess. So, you know, maybe 50, you know, anywhere from 25 to 50% of the knife is going to be made production. The other is going to be made by hand. And what that's going to do is that's going to lower the cost of the knife. Well, he's not having to do all of the knife making, you know, in his shop by hand. So I think that's going to make these knives, you know, more affordable and more accessible to more people, which I think is great. And it's definitely going to, you know, if this knife performs the way I think it's going to definitely, you know, give me a reason to buy more knives from Quickhatch. So again, the Trapper, it fits the bill. He makes some big choppers. He's just come out with some EDC style blades and a neck knife. Everything's 01. I think the thicknesses, he has an 1/8 and 3/16, just depending on the size of the blade. So again, just first impressions, you know, what I think, what it looks like. And what I did was, he does offer leather sheaths. I didn't get one of his. I decided to go with this one. This is from the Knife Connection. Dangler, all leather, ferro rod loop. I just put a Light My Fire Army in. You can get these in right hand, left hand, different sizes. It's a little hard to determine what size you need when you go to theirs. And even I really think this is probably just a JRE sheath that they market through the Knife Connection, because it even has a size U, which is, I think, is a standard size from JRE. So it is a little hard to figure out what size sheath you need for whatever knife you're using. They have a few options on how to guess. You know, I think this one actually was for an SE5, so I just kind of looked at the dimensions in an SE5 and realized that they're really similar to the dimension of this knife, and it fits pretty well. Probably a little deeper than I would like. You know, just having, but the, you know, kind of the big bulb on the end here does make it for an easy draw. So I think it's going to work out really well. But that's it. Just a quick video on the Trapper by Quickhatch Knives. I'm going to start using this thing, and you know, hopefully in a month or so I'll be back with some footage of me using it out in the field and my thoughts after a month or so of using it. That's all I have. This is PA Outdoors. Please like, share, comment on the video, especially if you have a Quickhatch knife. Give everyone your opinions of it, how it's worked out for you. Subscribe to my channel, get outdoors, but remember, be safe out there. Thanks for watching.